C1Music.FM, The Familiar. It is your host for the evening, Aaron Robinson. I have my crew in the building with me. Sister Evans, Sister Robinson, Carm, Sister Holloway, a.k.a. Maddie. And then I have my panel. Good evening, panel.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Glad to see everybody here tonight. We are going to get started. Today is April 24th. And today's topic title is Tell Me the Truth. Tell me the truth. All right. If you want to join us for a live call, we are streaming live today on the Spreaker Network. Blasting off. So if you want to join us tonight, you can give us a call, 908-316-8630. Again, the number to call is 908-316-8630. And you can also join us by web link. The web link is meetings.dialpad.com/C1 Productions. Want to let everybody know today we decided not to do video. So there's no video for this particular episode tonight. Just doing some rearranging, but we are streaming live tonight. So for everyone, this episode will be available right after the phone call in the podcast. All right. Again, tonight's topic title is Tell Me the Truth. As always, I always start off with an opening question and get into it, and then we get into a story. So I'm going to start us off like this. What is the difference between telling a lie and telling the truth? Telling a lie refers to deliberately providing false information or intentionally deceiving someone with the intent to mislead or deceive them. A lie can be an outright fabrication, an exaggeration, or a distortion of the facts. It is a deliberate act of not telling the truth or providing false information to deceive others. On the other hand, telling the truth means providing accurate and factual information without any distortion, exaggeration, or deception. It involves conveying information that is consistent with reality without intentionally misleading or deceiving others. So the key difference between telling a lie and telling the truth is the intent and accuracy of the information provided. Telling a lie involves intentionally providing false information with the intent to deceive, while telling the truth involves providing accurate and factual information without any deception. Truthfulness is generally considered a virtue, as it promotes trust, credibility, and honesty in relationships and interactions, while lying can lead to loss of trust and credibility and can have negative consequences for relationships and trustworthiness. The Bible places a strong emphasis on the importance of telling the truth. Throughout the Old and New Testament, there are various verses that highlight the value of truthfulness and honesty in a relationship, interactions, and also daily living. So I want to just highlight real quick some key Bible telling scriptures about telling the truth. I have 6 of them, and then we'll jump into our story. Number 1, Exodus chapter 20, verse 16 in the NIV version. It says, "You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. This is one of the 10 commandments given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai, and it clearly prohibits bearing false witness or lying against others." 2, Proverbs 12:22 from the NIV version says, "The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy." Now, this verse from the book of Proverbs emphasizes that God dislikes dishonesty and deceit, but values trustworthiness and honesty. Number 3. Ephesians 4:25 from the NIV version says, "Therefore, Each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body. Now, in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul teaches that Christians should speak truthfully to others as they are a part of a unified community of Christ. Number 4, Colossians 3:9. From the NIV version, it says, "Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off old self with its practices." Now, this verse from the book of Colossians encourages believers to abandon deceitful practices and be honest with one another as they are new creations in Christ. 5 John 8:32 from the NIV version, it says, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Jesus spoke these words, highlighting the liberating power of truth. He taught that knowing and living by the truth leads to spiritual freedom. And last but not least, number 6, Psalm 15, verses 1 and 2 from the NIV version says, "Lord, who may dwell in your secret tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? The one whose walk is blameless, who does what is righteous, who speaks the truth from their heart." This psalm speaks of the qualities of a person who is pleasing to God, and one of them is speaking truthfully from the heart. There are a few examples from the Bible that emphasizes the importance of telling the truth. Overall, the Bible teaches that truthfulness is a virtue and a characteristic of godly living, and encourages believers to be honest, trustworthy, and upright in their words and actions. However, the question may be asked, are there circumstances where withholding or altering information may be considered acceptable in order to prevent unnecessary harm to someone's feelings?
Yes.
So here are some examples. White lies to spare minor feelings. In certain situations, a small harmless lie may be used to avoid hurting someone's feelings over a trivial matter. For example, if your friend gets a bad haircut and asks for your opinion, you might choose to say something like, "It's unique," instead of bluntly stating that it looks unflattering. Here's another one. Protecting sensitive individuals. If someone is emotionally fragile or going through a difficult time, you may choose to withhold certain information to prevent causing them undue distress. For instance, if a terminal ill patient asks about their prognosis, a healthcare professional may choose to provide a more gentle and compassionate response. 2 more. It says privacy and confidentiality. There may be situations where you are bound by legal or ethical obligations to maintain confidentiality, such as in a professional setting like therapy sessions or legal consultations. In such cases, you may not be able to disclose the complete truth to protect the privacy and trust of the individuals involved. And last but not least, children and age-appropriate information. When dealing with young children, it's often necessary to provide age-appropriate information and avoid sharing harsh truths that may not be developmentally appropriate. For example, when explaining the concept of death to a young child, you might simplify the explanation to avoid causing unnecessary distress. So, it is important to note that these situations are exceptions and should be approached with caution. In general, honesty and open communication are fundamental values in most relationships and interactions, and deliberately deceiving or withholding information for personal gain or convenience is not ethical. When considering whether to tell the truth or not, it's important to consider the potential consequences and weigh the value of honesty against the potential harm caused by deception. It is always best to approach delicate situations with kindness, empathy, sensitivity, and strive for honesty whenever possible. With that being said, tonight I want to introduce y'all to Frank and Lauren. They have been married for about 2 years, and one day, Lauren decided to go on a game show titled Tell Me the Truth. This game show is where you take a polygraph test in private prior to the show, and then you are asked the same exact questions on national TV for money. And each question gets more personal and deeper as you move up in the rank of money. So Lauren thought it was a good idea to go on the show as her and Frank was having an okay marriage, but things could get better. Her thought process was that the show would bring her and Frank closer, so she talked Frank into attending her on the show, along with her father, her mother, her brother, and sister. So, we're going to also participate tonight in the game show, Tell Me the Truth. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Welcome to Tell Me the Truth. Tonight we're going to ask Lauren some difficult questions, and if she answers them right, she will win money. But if she answers one question wrong or one question false, she loses all the money. We also have our panelists online who will discuss each answer Lauren gives and analyze what they would do or how they would answer these questions that Lauren has asked. Before I get into this, I want you to know that this is a real game show. The title of that game show is Moment of Truth. Have any of you ever heard of it?
Yes.
No.
Yes. No.
No. No.
All right. I never heard of this show before until it was brought to my attention earlier this week. And I went over it with my wife and I said, babe, we got to do this for the show. It's mandatory. So, for the people who have seen this show before, rock with us tonight. This should be an entertaining one. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the rules to the show for my panel is that the question is going to be played. My homegirl Lauren is going to answer the question. We might get some feedback between her and her family, or her and her husband, Frank. But after she answers the question, we, as the panel, is going to analyze her question, analyze her answer, see if she answers it right, and discuss the question, and then move on. Again, I'm going to ask one last time. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All righty, here we go.
Lauren, as you know, there are 6 levels of questioning. The further you go, the harder the questions get, and the more money you can win. You can quit at any time, Lauren. Take the money. But once you hear a question, you have to answer that question. Remember, if you're caught lying even one time, you lose everything and the game is over.
Got it.
Lauren, you're not only here telling the truth in front of all of America, you brought family and friends to support you as well. Let's meet them right now. Who's here?
I'm Frank, Lauren's husband.
Hello, Frank.
I'm Jay, Lauren's father.
I'm Kim, Lauren's mother.
Hi, I'm Monica, Lauren's sister.
Now I'm Tim, Lauren's brother.
Welcome to all of you. Glad to have you here. You know that these questions range from sometimes the silly to the very personal. Are you ready for this?
Sure. Ready.
Okay, I hope that you are. Lauren, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am too. Let's begin. Okay, Lauren, we start with level 1, and it has 6 questions. All you have to do is answer all 6 truthfully. You win $10,000, and that's a good start, isn't it?
Got it. Yes.
Remember, if you're ever concerned about the answers you gave on your polygraph exam, you can change them if you want tonight. Okay? What do you do for a living?
I am an assistant manager at a salon.
Question 1. As an employee of a hair salon, Have you ever told a customer you liked their hairstyle when in fact you didn't?
Well, no, I have never.
That answer is true.
So far, so good.
Okay, first question was, have you ever lied to one of the customers when they got their hair done, letting them know that the hair done was good, even though it was horrible? How do y'all feel about her answer?
It's good that she hasn't lied to other people.
Now, we read before that you got to be honest at all times. Was that one of those white lies?
Hey, it could have been, but nothing came up on the test or on the show so far. And it's kind of good in that industry if she doesn't. She's like, honestly, it should go in a different direction. But
So I want to ask the panel here, if you was a hair salon person and you had a client, or if you have clients that at any point in time, and let's say even at church, let's say somebody walks in and they got their swag on, but they look very horrible. I'm talking about the outfit is horrid. Not color coordinated at all. And they walk up to you with a perfect smile. Hey, how you doing?
oh, I'm good.
And they waiting for you to comment on that outfit. Would you tell the truth?
Oh, I thought you said the hair or the outfit.
Let's say the outfit. Would you tell them the truth and say, yo, your outfit is not it? Or would you tell that white lie and say, you look good today?
Hey, a question was not presented to me to be in that position to confirm or deny.
So I'm asking anyone on the line. I just need one person to answer so we can move on. What would y'all do?
I might say something like, "Oh, look at you," but I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say I like it. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. But I might make that kind of comment because one time somebody came in the face and they had like a hairstyle. It was the kind of hairstyle that you had to say something. I mean, it was so obvious that it was different, and so I just said something like, "Oh, who's the new girl?" and just left it at that.
Okay.
So I'm acknowledging that I see it, but I'm not complimenting it or saying anything negative.
So is that you? So would y'all consider that just being a white lie, or y'all would just consider that as her being truthful?
I consider that evasive.
Evasive?
Yeah, it's not a lie.
I mean, you didn't have to say nothing at all to her.
Vague enough.
Oh yes, sometimes you have to say something.
Sometimes you got to say it regardless.
Oh, sometimes you have to. It's just so obvious something about a person that you can't just look and pretend that you didn't see it.
Let's just run past this elephant in the room.
All right, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go.
You're saying you used to work as a veterinary assistant?
Yes.
You like animals?
Love animals.
I guess that would be important there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Question 3. Would you give food to a stray dog before you would give it to a homeless person?
Well, I would have to say I'd rather give food to a dog rather than a homeless person.
So your answer would be yes?
Yes.
That's smart.
That answer is true.
Now, who here is on the street ministry? Will anybody here give food to a dog before they give food to a homeless person?
No.
Or is that? Are you actually telling the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, I want y'all to don't answer it quickly. Think about it now. Think about it. Would you actually give a pet? If you had food in your hand, would you throw it to the pet first, or would you give it to the homeless person? Be truthful.
Well, it depends. If it's something that I was
eating off of, maybe, and didn't want. Maybe the dog, but if to have had my mouth on something, biting the sandwich, and then then to give it to. I know they're probably hungry too, but I don't know if I would want to eat
after someone.
I don't know. Yeah, who had a part of a sandwich in their mouth, and I'm giving it to you. I don't know.
So imagine if you was walking and you just bought you a fresh hot dog. Let's say fresh hot dog. Took a couple bites and a homeless guy looks at you and says, "Hey, can I have a hot dog too?" And what would be your?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would give him the hot dog as long as he's asking for it. He sees that I'm eating it already. Then I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay, but then I remember you was cool with my dog Precious, so if you would have walked into the house, seen Precious, and she was
Precious would have got it.
She would have got it first. She would have got it first. All right, we're moving on to the next question. Here we go.
Question 7. Since you've been married, have you ever pretended to be asleep in order to avoid having sex with your husband, Frank? What do you think the answer is?
Better answer. We'll see.
So, all right. Well, the question's on you, Lauren. Since you've been married, have you ever pretended to be asleep in order to avoid having sex with your husband, Frank?
Pretended to be asleep, pretended to have a headache, so yes.
That answer is true.
Okay, who on the line, married folks, have done this, who's guilty of doing this before? Crickets.
Did you say who on the line that wants to stay married?
No, I said who on the line.
I like your question.
Who's willing to admit that they've done this before?
Oh, she know.
I have.
Who said I have? I missed that.
I think that probably
June?
all of us have.
That's true. Yes.
So now, so now I want to put this in perspective, though. I want to put this in perspective. You're on national TV, and this question was asked to you. Would you answer it honestly?
Gotta.
I know, but because let me say this. Let me put this in earlier, like we said earlier today on the other podcast. Let me put this in context. You're on national TV. Your family is there. Your husband is there.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to. So the question is going to be, at some point in time, is it worth the money?
Those were my thoughts.
So
it was asked already, though.
But this is what I'm going to make, because the question is going to get more and more. So at what point in time is it not about the money anymore? It's like, yo, it's time to tap out. That question is going to be asked.
7. That one.
So I want to know now, so would y'all have answered this truthfully on national TV?
See, I guess
why not?
I don't see that. I'm saying I just believe that that's something
Everyone does.
pretty much every wife has done at least once.
Every now and then, yeah.
So you would admit it on national TV? Sister Edna said no.
But I think that that's something that every wife has done at one point or another.
The first lady will be up there admitting that was me.
Tired and you had a long day dealing with kids or whatever the situation is. Sometimes you might just want to go to sleep.
Anyone else?
I don't think it's so bad. I don't think it's so bad that
that's divorce material or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I don't think that that's a regular thing. I just think that at least once.
All right. The rest of the panel agrees with him?
She didn't have to add on, though. She said a headache, a stomach ache, I stubbed my toe, I don't want to look at you. She didn't say all that, but Frank was like, for real.
All righty. Let's move on to the next one.
Question 11. Do you know things about your father that you keep secret from your mother?
Yes, I do.
That answer is true.
Yeah.
Okay. If you knew something about your father that your mother didn't know, knowing that if you answer this question, your mom after the show is going to be like, yo, you need to tell me ASAP. And throw your dad under the bus. Are you going to hold your dad down and be like, nah, I'm good? Or would you admit and say, yeah, I know something that mommy don't know? Panel, talk to me.
Well, I mean, something that mommy don't know could be, if you ask a question on national TV, could be anything, because it could be that he says he used to smoke and he stopped smoking and he's still going to have a smoke every now and then.
Okay,
so,
true.
I mean, it just depends on, I guess, what it is that I may know. But at that time of the question, it could just be that, you're just saying, is there something that you know that, so that could be anything. So you can kind of get away with that one.
True. Your father would have been standing up there waiting for you to answer.
It could be a health issue and the person's sneaking the wrong kinds of food. It could be anything.
You would tell on your dad though on national TV?
It could be dad bought mama gifts and she don't know about
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
First lady, you sound like you'll be good at this game.
Just answer the questions. Don't say what's going on.
Just answer the question.
Just follow directions.
All right, gotcha. We're moving on. Here we go.
How's the communication between you and your husband, Frank?
We're working on it.
Yeah, Frank?
Yeah.
Question 12. Do you secretly stay in touch with any boyfriends that your husband does not know about?
Sound like Jerry Springer.
What do you think, Frank?
I think I want to hear her answer.
The answer is no.
That answer is true.
Okay.
Now, I want to ask this question to the panel. If y'all was the person on there and they start asking questions like that, would you consider tapping out? Addison, you said you throwing the peace sign
I'm out. You're going to the jugular. I told you at question 7 I would have been out. Oh my goodness. I was holding Carletta for a moment. I'm sorry about that. I literally did. I was like, okay. So also it's a video. I'm looking at it from the side. He kind of looked like a enhanced version of Mark Zuckerberg. I had to throw that out there. I'm sorry. Random thoughts only.
All right. So anybody would y'all have, even if you wasn't like the fact that you got asked that question.
What if the graph messes up?
What if the
stress? I'm hot.
What?
She said, what if the polygraph messed up?
Well, it could if you get nervous and it says that you're lying. See, when it's like this right here, that's a fine line. And if you know you've got some skeletons that, you answered these questions before, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, like, if she was so easy to say, if I have a headache, if I have a casually, I'm not going to do anything with my husband. And I don't know, if you got a lot going on, you might want to stop there because it might get real later.
Her answers got a little stiff.
What about you, Jen? What you think?
I wouldn't go on the show, but if I went on the show, I'm going for the money. So answer all questions.
How many questions is it?
Every section is the questions get.
We're in the first section.
No, we are. I don't know where we are. Every time I play it, it'll say what question it was.
Okay, at what point do I get to 10,000?
Oh, I think we passed. I think after 6 questions, I think it is. So it goes 6 questions, then it goes 5 questions, then it goes 4 questions, 3 questions, 2 questions. But every round the questions, every round the questions get harder and harder and harder.
Mm-hmm.
And they get more personal and more personal and more personal.
But she's already answered them on the polygraph, right?
Yes.
So she knows what to anticipate.
Right, but
so she knows when the.
So then, my question to you again: at what point in time would it be about the money, versus it be about the truth coming out? That's what we have to ask ourselves.
If she's answered all those questions, I would think she'd just go for the money.
I got you. Keep that same attitude, though, huh?
Because just because you answered it, the polygraph picks up on whether you're lying or not.
Right.
Because when you stand before the people, then
that's right. She doesn't know what the polygraph said. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So the polygraph might say you're lying.
Right. Because even with this particular question, she could have been like, could have had a conversation or could have talked to an old flame that maybe the husband didn't know about or whatever. So that kind of stuff could get tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on. Here we go.
Lauren, I know that you've moved recently and you don't have as many friends as you used to have, but do you occasionally like the girls' night out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have those nights,
It
right? Question 13. Have you ever taken off your wedding ring to appear as if you were single?
That's a good one.
She didn't answer
the
it.
ticker right there.
I tried to warn you.
That's a good one.
No, it's okay. Yes, I have.
That answer is...
Oh, boy.
True.
All right, I want to reverse this now. If your husband was up there and you were sitting in the crowd and he said he takes his ring off to appear single, Elder Martin, talk to me.
Well, I wouldn't appreciate it.
So what would the conversation be like? Because the thing that makes this whole show interesting too is that, like, for instance, her husband is sitting there on national TV, so when they ask a question, they pan right to his face, and boy, he looks disappointed.
And I'm sure he was embarrassed and hurt.
Mm-hmm. So I'm asking you now. So if you was the person sitting in the crowd, and your husband went up there and admitted that he took his ring off to appear single, what would be your response?
Well, since I'm on public TV and with everybody there, I would just sit there. I wouldn't react. But when I got him on, we going in the car, I would take care of business then.
You take care of him then? Crazy.
That would have to be taken care of before we even go home.
Yeah, you might not have a home to go to.
Has anybody here ever took their ring off to appear single? This is national.
No.
Somebody said they have.
No.
No.
Oh. No. Okay. I don't think y'all are gonna tell the truth on this one anyway. I'm just playing. All right, here we go. Next one.
The question: did you and your husband have a nice honeymoon?
It was nice.
Frank?
Yeah, you had a good time. You enjoyed yourself.
Question 14. Do you believe you might have been in love with a former boyfriend on your wedding day?
She didn't answer yet.
That's a long pause.
She's shaking.
You got to see her mom picture.
Yes, I believe I was.
That answer is true.
Oh, have mercy.
Stupid. She is losing every person in her family. Bombastic side eye. Oh my goodness. If she knew, why is she?
If she knew what? Why is she telling the truth?
Leave. You got the money. You know, are you crazy? She wanted to be single with all this money. And familyless, friendless,
See,
nationally.
You don't know their history though. This is something that he might be well aware of.
Nah, he don't look like it.
I can't see him.
Yeah. I share this episode with everybody where y'all can see it afterwards.
I was trying to tell you she was shaking.
But even if he's fully aware, this is national television.
Yeah,
your friends, your families, your frenemies, your enemies.
Okay.
Exes.
So Sister Malloy, if it was you sitting in the crowd and your husband had answered this question, because they do have husbands on there, they also has wives on there. So if this was your husband, he answered the question like that. He was thinking about his ex. What was the question? If he was in love with his ex? On that? Yeah. And he said that on a wedding day. What would be your response, Sister Malloy?
Where's she at? You can go with her now.
He's pulling up a divorce PDF on his phone right now as we speak on the show.
So that answer would cause everyone to want to look at their husband in a way to where they would want to get a divorce?
A pivoting rift, if anything.
Is that what everybody's saying?
No, like if they're gonna say totally a divorce, but it makes you feel kind of like, wow, is it really me you want? You know?
Yeah, that sounds close to it.
We just getting warm now. I'm just letting y'all know. We just getting warm.
Exactly.
We just getting warm. All right, so are y'all ready? So everybody said that they would pray for their husband and let them come back home.
We not on one accord.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This getting crazy.
Question 16. Since you've been married, have you ever had sexual relations with someone other than your husband?
Your mom face. Better not.
I wish the button was still there.
Yeah, telling me.
He looks so sick.
She better not say yes.
Her sister's like,
I'm gonna have to say yes.
That answer is true.
Okay, Lauren. 2 more gets you $200,000. But be careful.
Yeah, but if she taps out, he's gonna know the truth anyway.
Yeah, but she could have tapped out 2 questions in advance, so that it doesn't get to that.
She should have started thinking about the question she was asked.
It was going to be out. She knew that.
The love of money.
I feel like I skipped a couple questions.
Oh, you did skip some questions.
I did.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Once she start answering some of them questions about the boy, about a previous boyfriend, it should have clicked. Now, what were these other questions that they asked me? I already said yes to this.
That's why I said stupid.
How
Not
deep
even stupid.
does it get? Something should have clicked. Like, I know I'm not right. I need to stop. Go ahead, take the money, and just be done.
Okay, so now would y'all think the PDF of the divorce papers is coming up now, Madison?
After number 7,
Well,
I'm telling you.
I think that's what she's looking for.
No, I promise you, I need to watch the show after the show because she actually ends up losing. After the show, her husband comes and consoles her and rubs her back like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you lost."
Lost everything.
Lost everything.
All of us.
He lost all the money?
Yeah.
All
If
the
you get
money.
any answer wrong, you lose all the money.
Oh, okay.
What does she cap about? What was the
she
line?
have said no to after that?
Stupid.
All right, here we go. I feel like I skipped a whole bunch of questions. I don't know how. I feel like I was going in order, but here we go.
Question 17. Do you think you're a good person?
No. Hold on.
Question 16.
Did we just ask this one?
Since you've been married, have you ever had sexual relations?
No, I'm missing one. I'm sorry, people. All right, so we're missing one, but we're gonna get that one up now. I'm sorry for messing this up.
I can't believe she went on the show. All these questions.
They got the
That's
right
what I
person.
said. I wouldn't have went on this show.
But like, I mean, when she was sitting down in the beginning before the show, when they were taking the polygraph, they start asking some of these questions. Like the light bulb should have came on and be like, you know what? Do I want the whole world to know that?
I don't think they. I think it was more so a whole conversation about like a bunch of different things to gather information. I don't think it was. That's how I feel it was that they do it.
Oh,
They
okay.
do an interview that's like an entire conversation, and once you open up, you start opening it. Sometimes you don't realize once you get to talking, you don't know if she drank wine, or drink a bit, then she gets more loose in the tongue. So I think it was more so like that, and then.
So then you think that you don't know what
a polygraph
specific question you're going to get.
I think a polygraph requires a yes or no answer, though. So they have.
I know, but you can still gather information. Like when you got married, like you guys, like you can gather information to kind of. You understand what I'm saying? Like you can find out about some people, like a lot about a person, and gather information just through regular conversation. Then you can ask specific questions, and they are yes or no. Trying to figure out where it's going to go.
Gotcha.
I just wouldn't have went on the show, period.
They actually did that in a separate show, but it was based on cheating, of where they had the cheater get recorded. Like the significant other did not tell them where they were going, what they were doing, and they had them sit in a room by themselves. And they made them think that, they were just by themselves waiting a long time. But no, the significant other was on the other side watching them. And they would bring in like decoys to see if they would do it. And the decoy, they selected the right person. Because you all are correct. The way that they could have went about it was maybe made her a little comfortable. I don't think there was some substance or liquids. But they could have got a woman with her and was just like trying to sneak like some girl talk, some vague, open-ended, like,
All right, so
exactly.
So I'm gonna tell y'all what the next question was because other than that, I have to put it up on YouTube and bring it back up. For some reason, I cut it, but I don't see it on here, so I'm gonna rephrase and tell y'all what happened. So obviously, again. Lauren and Frank. Lauren is the young lady. Frank is her husband, and her family is there. So they called out a special guest. The special guest is her ex-boyfriend. They said to the ex-boyfriend has a question to ask you. And so she said, "Oh my God, it's my ex-boyfriend. Oh man." And so the guy says, "Can you tell us who this is?" And he said, "That's my ex-boyfriend." "No, I can't speak. I don't know." And so then he said to the guy, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm my ex-boyfriend, Frank." Her ex-boyfriend name is Frank too.
the name Frank. Okay.
Okay. So then they said to Frank, okay, Frank, ask her question. And you know he said, doom. He goes, Frank says, if I wanted you to, would you leave your husband and come back to me?
Oh my, no it wasn't. Find the clip. No! Just let me watch it.
There's a very good pause. And she was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then the sister ran up there and hit the bell.
Uh-huh. She know the truth. She up there hyperventilating. Told herself.
And then the sister, then the guy said, but Frank wanted to know the answer.
I bet Frank did. Forget you, Frank.
And she said to her sister, he said, why did you hit the bell? Because the bell meant that you can pass on to that. You don't have to answer that question. You can move on to a new question. And he said, sister said, nobody wants to hear that answer.
Because you know it.
And so I'm asking, if your husband was up on stage and that question was asked and his family member had to hit the button for him to answer if he had the opportunity to leave you and go back to his ex, how would y'all respond to that? Being that the sister hit the bell. First lady, that's like June hitting the bell for you so you don't have to answer that question. Or, let's take it back. That's like Ronald hitting the bell. Bishop don't have to answer that question.
I'll be like, answer it.
Oh, so y'all know something, huh? No, you're going to answer it.
I would say he's got to answer it.
Sister Edna, would you want your husband to answer the question?
I don't think I understand the question.
You don't understand the question? The question is, the ex-boyfriend came up on the show. In this case, for your husband, it would be his ex-girlfriend. Came up on the show. And he said, yo, the question is, if I asked you right now to leave your wife and come with me. This is ex-girlfriend saying this to your husband. If I told you right now to leave your wife, mind you, and I forgot what your husband's name was, but this guy, this girl has the same name as you. Her name is Edna too.
No pun intended.
Said,
Number 2.
leave the fake Edna and come back to the real Edna. and his relative hits the bell so that he doesn't have to answer the question.
Okay, and the ex-girlfriend was his girlfriend at one time?
Before you became his girlfriend. Before you became his girlfriend and his wife.
Okay, that's his ex-girlfriend. I don't think he would answer for her. I wouldn't expect him to answer for her. That he would leave me to go with her.
So you expect him to say no?
Right.
But then why would the relative hit the bell then? Because the relative is probably thinking that you don't want to answer that question. Because if you answer the question, it's probably the end of your marriage.
We got to pedal back. Once we found out there was an original Frank, ooh, it's down bad.
Yeah, if it's an original, it's an original Jennifer. You're the second Jennifer.
Yeah, that's what my first husband, he married a Jennifer. Yeah. It's not.
This actually happened?
Yeah.
Man, you can't get no crazier.
And she looks like Jennifer.
Man.
She looks like Jennifer.
Yo,
it does happen. My cousin. It happened to my cousin.
Yo, so when he was reading the profile, yo, what
But to me, it's not the fact that that's not the fact because honestly, if you like a type, you like a type. Do you understand? You like what you like, and it just so happens that we have the same name. It's that he didn't know her ex-boyfriend's name was Frank. That's where. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you're hiding something from me. That's where I would have. that's where it's like, what?
Now I gotta
your
see
name
the
is
clip.
Frank.
Did they look alike? I need to see the clip.
No, they didn't. Nancy, what you think, Nancy?
No, they didn't look alike.
Sister Nance, you there? Sister Nance fell asleep on us.
Yeah.
Nah, this is not
I'm on my cell phone, so it acts a little crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
No, so if this was your husband up there, and he was saying that you just found out that his
and the
girlfriend
boyfriend said, "Will you come back to me?"
Well, first you find out that his girlfriend before was Nancy.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, cool.
A name is a name.
And then she says, well, I want you to leave Nancy, second Nancy, and come back to the first Nancy. And he's looking up there like he has a problem answering the question. So one of his relatives hits the bell for him to save him from answering the question.
Yeah.
How would you feel about that? How would that be dealt with?
I wouldn't make it as an indictment on him. I think more about the sister, that she doesn't have a certain amount of trust either in him or our relationship. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have that trust.
Okay. So then they move on to
already said he slept with somebody. Probably was him.
possibly. Then he asks, so they said, all right, being that you skipped that question, Frank has another question.
Not going to get any easier, I wouldn't think.
Before he asked the question, I'm done. I'm ringing the bell. Just give me the money.
Exactly.
Give me the money. Because it's already over.
It's already over?
It's bad.
What you think, Carm? See, Carm's seen this. I can share the whole video with y'all. I mean, this was so bad that the announcer had to keep coming on the screen, like after maybe every 5 or 6 questions, and say, listen, this is going to get graphic.
I thought you was going to say, he was going to be like, you don't have to do this.
No, he kept saying.
Oh, he said that. He goes, you don't have to do this. Is there any way that I can convince you not to continue? There's no way that I can, right? She's like, no, I'm going to continue. Are you sure? Because this is getting a little uncomfortable for me. Are you sure? Because I'm looking at the questions here and the answers. Are you sure? Is it worth it? Is it worth, dealing with this with your family?
This is a real show.
It's a real show.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's why this is not regular stupid. This is stupid. This is a different level.
This is the first time I've ever seen a host not doing the instigating, sitting there squirming because they have to do their job and they're uncomfortable for this person. And the person doesn't have enough sense to stop.
He's like, let me save your life, ma'am. It's on the line. Everything. Soiled it. You're going to rule the day.
But the crazy thing is how she lost all the money.
The stupidest question ever. Like, she should have got this one right.
Please, what happened?
The stupidest question ever.
All right, because we only got like 3 minutes left anyway, so I'm gonna play this last one. Here we go.
Honestly, I think I am a good person.
So your answer is?
Yes.
Hold on.
Kidding.
So the question was, do you think you're a good person?
No.
Question 17. Do you think you're a good person?
Husband said, nah, she's not.
Honestly, I think I am a good person.
So your answer is?
That's it. Yeah, she is. Watch.
That answer is...
It's true.
False.
I'm flipping the table.
Really?
I'm flipping the table. Of all things you could have lied about. And you hesitated. Why would that have been a bad lie in comparison to every single question after number 7? Oh my God. I can't.
It's okay to tell the world. But hey, I slept with somebody while I was married. On my wedding day, I thought about some other guy. The other guy comes in, surprise, he has the same name as my husband. But he didn't know it was a secret. Now the whole world knows at the same time.
It was worse. They asked her questions like,
she's so dumb.
They asked her questions like, have you ever stole money from your job before?
Yeah, she said
yes. You are national TV. Then they said her husband is a cop.
Oh my goodness.
So then they asked the next question. They said, at your current job that you work at now, if you knew you wouldn't get caught, would you steal money again? Doom. They asked her husband. He was like, no, she wouldn't do it again. She wouldn't do it again. She got that answer right. She said she wouldn't do it. But I say, in the court of public opinion, you would never get hired at nobody else's job ever again. You better keep that job for the rest of your life. You might get fired off that job.
Yes.
By the time you get back home.
Exactly.
If she admitted on national TV that she stole and she came to the church, your church, to be the accountant, one of the treasurers.
Oh, yeah, she good at math.
No way.
Jennifer, she said you got to put it in context.
I think that, that it was a setup.
No, she really believed that. She said, I changed. I'm really a good person.
No,
they said.
I think they set her up.
Oh.
No, I think she believed she was a good person.
No,
She set her own self up, man. Like, when they started asking questions like that, nah, I'm not. I'm tapping out at 10,000, man. We good. Like, the questions started getting too real after 10,000. The next one was like 25. I would have tapped up. Like, I'm taking that one to the grave. I'm sorry, man.
To the grave.
Yeah, you don't need to know all that.
You don't care about yourself.
Yeah, you trying to get me divorced. You trying to get my head taken off before I even get. I can't imagine Deacon Martin in his suit walking out of that place, having to sit in the car and get a lecture.
A lecture. Shawty got to lead the country.
She said a lecture.
That's one way to describe it.
A lecture.
You get a lecture, all right.
No, man.
Right?
I don't know if I could sit there the whole time. I would have to excuse myself so that I won't act out of character. Because I'll be like, wait, because you too uncomfortable. You pausing and waiting too long to answer these questions.
I think it was like 10 episodes on that. I think maybe I seen one black couple on there.
Really?
Understandable.
Really?
Yeah, all the rest of them was like white couples.
Thank goodness.
So I gotta, listen. You can find this show. Just look on YouTube. Moment of Truth.
That's like Jerry Springer.
Nah, this is different, man. This one, this hit hard. Jerry Springer, you know, is fake. This ain't fake. They ask some real hard questions about your work and everything. Like,
just for a little bit of money.
Yeah, I show Carletta a couple of them. Like, I think we looked at 2 or 3 of them. Man, I wanted to do a compilation and mix a whole bunch of them together. How y'all all messed up. They was asking some questions, boy. Woo! I said, "Oh, where they come up with this, man?" They took that off air quick.
Risking your life.
That was breaking up homes.
You're risking your life for $200,000.
Yeah, is it worth it?
No.
$200,000 just to be unemployed
and
divorced.
Yeah, and divorced
and having rifts in the family.
Only with the sister.
They had one episode where the girl and guy was like boyfriend and girlfriend. And they brought her ex up there, and the boyfriend was all confident, like, yeah, yeah, that's my girl, we good. And then the ex-boyfriend came, and they panned the camera to his face. My man got salty, like, oh man, what's going on here? And they asked her, who's better in bed?
Oh,
she better ring that bell. Ring my bell.
Ring the bell.
You better punch that bell.
She give that eye contact to one of the people sitting on the other side of the bell.
She cross-eyed now.
They asked
Somebody
them,
hit the bell.
which one of these boyfriends are better in bed? Dum. Yo, tell me the truth. That's our episode for tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves playing this game tonight. As our pastor always say, be safe, be blessed, be well. June, it's good seeing you again, hearing your voice. I'm glad you're back.
Good to be back.
Hope y'all enjoyed yourselves tonight. Jennifer gave you the crowd in the background. I don't know if you heard that. One more time, Jennifer.
Uh-huh.
The crowd goes wild.
Saying goodbye to Ludacris Lauren and Fugazi Frank.
Yep. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Thank y'all for listening.
You too.
Good night.
Good night.